Hello, I'm Dr. Kim Soondong, the head of Soon Plus Plastic Surgery. But first, what is a forehead lift? Simply put it, it's a procedure to lift the forehead. What are the effects of a forehead lift surgery? When forehead is lifted, the brows are also lifted, which helps reduce forehead wrinkles and lesser wrinkles at the ridge of your nose. Since the brows are lifted, for people who have shorter distance between the brows and eye will find a solution as the eyebrows go up. There are two methods for the forehead lifts, and I'll explain the two methods for correction. For incision methods, when there is no endoscopy, there is a method of coronal incision. Nowadays we don't use it anymore, so there's no need of explanation. You can think of it as doing the forehead lift with endoscopy. The incision line will be through the hairline. There will be 5 spots in size. Actually, there are clinics incising 3 spots and clinics incising 5 spots. By right, incising 5 spots is the more accurate stripping method. There are 3 methods for correction. I'm not going to explain to you about the method using a screw. Firstly, using a thread to correct it is to make a tunnel in the bones, tie the thread and fix the forehead scalp there. And second is using an endodine to fix it. Let me show you an endodine. This is an endodine and there are various types of it. For fixing it at the forehead, it's this. When you fix this at your head, this protruding ones will support the skin. Endodine is made using a plant-based material, so it can melt. It takes about 1 year to melt. And also one more thing for endodine. It's been FDA approved. So you can see this as that it's very safe to use. I will tell you about the duration of the forehead lift. I can't tell you it, eternal. From experience, there has been nothing different for about 10 years. But the important thing in here, there are some who would say something about going back the same, not in less than a year. That's probably because of the stripping difference. The important thing for the forehead lift is the stripping. If the stripping is performed well, the duration could not only last 10 years but for much longer years. For the recovery process for the forehead lifts, about after a week, the most swelling on the forehead would have subsided. Swelling moves down to the face, and there is a deviation depending on the person. For those who experience significant swelling, recovery may take over 2 weeks, but typically, most people recover within 2 weeks. The important thing for the forehead lifts is depending how well the stripping is done. If the stripping goes well, no matter what is being used such as endodine or threads, the surgery will turn out well. So you should remember that the most important thing is how well the stripping process is, and is something you should consider. Then how can you tell if the stripping was a success? The only way to find that out is the duration. So, if a patient's result goes back to before after 3 months, that means stripping of the skin was not performed enough. So I recommend for you to check out the websites of the clinics and see if they have videos that are either 5 years old or 7 years old, and by checking them out, I think that would be the most accurate information. So I have explained a bit about forehead lifts. It's a surgery that performs with endoscope. There are threads and endodines, and for your information, there are few different types of endodine. There are 2 main types, and I want to inform you that using genuine endodine that has been approved by the FDA is important, as this is something that is going into our body. It's one of my principles to use the most expensive and the best products.